This is how to save some items into your Zotero library. Now this presumes that you've already installed the Zotero standalone software. You've already installed the Chrome browser connector. This this screencast shows a Mac and the Mac version in August 2017. If you're using Windows, it will be very, very similar, but this is using the Mac version. Okay, so the first thing I do when I get Zotero is I look to see what fields are displaying. And you can see in my middle pane, I use it all the time. I've been using it about 6 years. Now, one of the things that doesn't default is date added. I always add date added, and then I use this caret to sort it by date added. And the reason I do that is that as I add citations to Zotero, because it's using the most recent one, I can see it added at the top and I know that it's worked. Okay, so you can add a whole lot of different bits of information. If you really care about publisher or want to sort it by publisher for some reason, you can do so. Okay, what I'm going to do also is I'm going to create a new collection. So I'm going to right click on my library. Everything will be saved into my library and I can see everything under that, or I can just have a new collection, and I'm just going to call that TIS, and here's a brand new empty pane. Anything I save while I'm sitting on TIS will be added to the TIS collection. I'll also be able to see it under my library. Now, I'm finished with that side of it, so what you can do is you can actually change things so that you can get rid of that. See that little dot there? You can actually get rid of that window completely. So just to give you a bit more space for this screencast. Okay, let's look at Chrome. Now, with Chrome, I can see that Zotero is installed because it's telling me there's a web page here. So it's either a Z, or more likely it's going to be telling you, hey, there's a web page and looking like this. Now what I do is I actually grab this, click hard on it, and just put it to the right of the address bar because I use it all the time. So you can always move that around if you've got a lot on your screen. Right, now at the end of this, I will say 10 times, you must check the metadata, you must change it, you can't rely on the metadata that's there. That's the whole point of a lot of this screencast, but just bear with me. Okay, so let's say you've done a search on Google Scholar, and you can see that I've been doing some saving before, and there are all your items. Now, what it does is it actually gives you an icon here that says, hey, there's a file, there's lots of things. Which ones do you want? So let's get educating archivists about information technology, teaching archivists about, teaching archivists, right. That's enough. So I'm going to say, okay, I could select or deselect them all. And when that happens, you'll see this little window that already looks like it's there appear, and you'll see them appear in my Zotero pane. Right. Now what we can also see is that it's getting the PDFs. Now, what you'll notice is that Educating Archivists About Information has a PDF attached to it called PDF American Archivist. It's now disappeared. Okay, so these PDFs have been added here, but because they're all from the journal American Archivist, they've all got the same name. Let's right-click on that and say Rename File from Parent Metadata. Okay, and what that's doing is once I've checked my metadata is correct, usually I do that first, you can change the name of the PDF so that it's distinctive, which is always very sensible. Right, so let's have a look. This lot of metadata is actually rather complete, okay? So we can see that we've got the URL or DOI if it had a DOI, the pages, the date, the volume, all sorts of information. We've got authors. Okay, so looking at this is pretty clean metadata, which is kind of nice, okay, and kind of, as we will see, unusual. Okay, let's say we're going to something like Hop on Pop, to which I'm searching in WorldCat. Okay, WorldCat is the United States' very big federated catalogue of lots and lots of records. Okay, so here's Hop on Pop. Let's click on this item, because you can see it saying, hey, there's lots of things there. Now, what I want you to do is just watch this. This will change briefly to something that says, you can save metadata for a web page. I know there's a web page. And then it will detect the book metadata and say, there's also bibliographic metadata about a book. So I'm just going to click on that. And you'll see, yeah, there's a web page. Do you want to save the web page? And now it's changed to a book. You must wait for it to change to the book to get the book metadata. Otherwise, it will just save reference to this page itself, which is not what you want. Now let's save that book metadata. There's Hop on Pop. Now, that's by Seuss. I know this is written by Dr. Seuss, and I did a double check before I made this. And this is, you actually put Doctor in as the, Doctor full stop actually, as the first name when you're doing this for APA 6. Okay, what else does it say? Oh, place is missing. The place is London. The publisher is HarperCollins, and you can see because I've got lots of stuff in Zotero that it's offering me some information that I can put in. Okay, the rest of it looks fine. I don't want a URL because this is about the book. It's not actually about the place that I found the book. Okay, going back to the search results, you can see that some metadata is a little bit strange. Some metadata, let's look at this record, and we'll save that when the book appears. Okay, some metadata is dreadful. Okay, in this one of the things to know about is that Zotero is never magic. It's great, but it's not magic. Sentence case confuses computers. It doesn't know what a proper noun is and what should be capitalized and what should not. For APA 6 style, you need to use sentence case, which means capital at the start of the sentence. The rest of it is in lowercase unless it's a proper noun. So in this one, hop on, you could probably put a case for pop being a pronoun. Okay, so Hop on Pop becomes the title. I've changed that. Seuss Doctor is there. Here there's no place, there's no publisher. I would need to put that in, okay? But I wanted to show you just how dirty that metadata was there. Let's look at another thing so you can see just how strange this type of stuff gets. Let's look at this Random House video, and you'll see this will change. Okay, so it's changed to a book, and if we click on that, when we save this one, you'll see that it's got author, Seuss, author, Seuss, author, Seuss. So I just need to delete those. Author Random House. I wouldn't actually have Random House as an author, so I'd get rid of that. Okay, so you do need to double, triple check, and I'd change that obviously to Dr. Seuss, what you've harvested. You must double, triple check that what you're harvesting is correct. Okay, let's go to Amazon. So something like Amazon, where we've found where the wild things are. Okay, again, folder tells us there's lots of items. Now, if I click through to this where the wild things are, it will appear with the web page first before it gets the bibliographic data. Something like Amazon you have to be really careful for. If you're saving the bibliographic data, the information about the book as a print object or as an ebook, you do not want the web page, okay? Do not save it so it says amazon.com is a URL for it. What you want is the bibliographic data. I'm clicking on this because I want to tell you about another particular field to watch out for. And that's this one, the edition field. Now, with the edition field, for any citation style that Zotero will spit out, if you just have a number like 25, it will know what to do with it. And for APA 6, it will reformat it correctly to 25th space ed full stop, which is 25th edition spat out the way that Zotero needs it, if there is just a number there. If, however, there's something that isn't a number, like in this case 25th anniversary edition, it will just spit out exactly what the text is. Now in this case you don't want to change that to 25 because it's not the 25th edition. It may well be the 25th anniversary edition. It's an old enough and wonderful enough book that it may well have had 25 special anniversary editions. Okay, so you'd leave that, but if it had in it 25th edition, if you keep that in it, when it spits it out as a reference, it will say 25th edition, which in APA 6 is incorrect. If you just put the number 25, Zotero will magically know I'm going to have to put a TH and ED full stop after that and spit out the right APA 6 style. Okay, so we've had a look at Google Scholar, we've had a look at WorldCat, Amazon. Let's look at Curtin Library. Curtin Library managed to change its catalogue in the middle of 2017. It now doesn't work with Zotero as well as it used to. However, if we have a look at this item, which is Mop, a short story, it brings up the individual item. However, it's still over the top of the results. So if you click there, it will be asking you about all sorts of stuff to add to your library. The thing to do is when you're on an individual item, and you'll sometimes do this in other catalogues as well, which is why I'm showing you, the format that a citation wants, the file format is a .ris, okay? EndNote uses it, Zotero uses it, other citation managers use it. So if you can find EndNote or cite via EndNote or cite to RefWorks or whatever, chances are it will spit out the RIS file. Now Zotero knows when I see an RIS file, I want to grab it, okay? So in this case, you can click on EndNote and it will download, if we click here, the RIS file, okay? Now what it will also do is, now I need to show you my file here, is Zotero is clever but not wonderfully clever with this, because what it does is it has this file called Primo RIS export, and if I then click on this file, it creates and puts this one in. Do you want to import it? Okay, I double clicked on that, that's why it's done it. Okay, so you can see that what it's done is, it's created a new file collection name. Okay, but you can see it's actually added the correct metadata. Again, we have to check, and even though the item probably has a, it's a short story, there's no journal or whatever, so you need to double check the metadata. Okay, Trove, newspapers. When I did this before, in 2016, this was shocking metadata. The National Library has really cleaned it up. If I go back to our TIS collection here, because I want to save in TIS, now let's get rid of that so you can see better. Go across. Bye-bye. Okay, what I can do is, there's this sad poem about the dog sleeping. Okay, this is by a woman called Elizabeth Cotton. Okay, if we now save that, we can see that says newspaper article. Okay, and that's appeared now, dog. And this is really nice. This has got complete metadata. It didn't used to. I used to show it as an example of really bad metadata. However, it still hasn't picked up that the author is Cotton Elizabeth. Cotton. Okay, so now I've put the author in, so that's right. Okay, but what happens if you don't have the exact metadata? Okay, you can always do, she says, add a new manual item. Okay, so you can always just manually type it in, but there's two other ways of doing it. Much better. If you've got just a PDF, for example, if the digital inclusion index, let's download the PDF. There it is. Now what we can do is, you can see that the Zotero icon has changed to Save to Zotero PDF. Let's click on that and it's going to save the PDF. Now do you remember when we saved these journal articles before, it worked out there was a PDF attached. So if I wanted to, I can just retrieve that PDF very easily. Okay, so there's the PDF retrieved. So it's just sitting there, it's lovely. I've bought extra storage with my Zotero library because I use it so much. Okay, however, so it's got a PDF and it's got a parent item with the metadata. This one has only saved the PDF, but there's no parent item, and that's what Zotero wants. So if I right click on this, I could try retrieve metadata for PDF. Now what that will do is, sometimes PDFs actually have in the file itself some metadata that Zotero can recognize and put author, etc. in the right spot. However, if we try it now, it's trying its little hardest. However, it's not found anything, so I can't do it that way by just trying to retrieve. That's the first thing to do. So what I'm going to have to do is right click and manually create a parent item. Okay, now what it's done is it's actually done its best, which isn't wonderful, and it's just made the title Australian Digital Inclusion Article the name of the PDF, okay? There's nothing here that's very useful. It said it's a web page, okay. So first thing is we know it's a report. Let's change it to report, and we can manually enter the metadata. Now, with PDFs, many, if you scroll down, they will have in the about or in the citation information or in the imprint information suggested citations, and you can see here it's got the authors. So if I had more time in the screencast, I would manually show you entering every one of those authors into here. The title, as we can see, it's called Australian Digital Inclusion Index 2017 PDF. I can change that to Measuring Australia's Digital Divide, the Australian Digital Inclusion Index. Now, I have made some decisions with that. I'm not going to put a full stop. You don't put a full stop. I've decided that digital divide is a concept, so it needs proper noun, capitalisation to show it's a proper noun concept, and the Australian needs capitalisation, and digital inclusion index is an object that should be capitalised, okay? Often you wouldn't have capitals so much, you need to have sentence case, okay? So I'd put my authors in, I'd put my report type, series title, place, all the information that usually you can find out from some imprint information that it has. Okay, next thing is we've only got, say, somebody sent you a reference and said, could you please add, you can look it up to your Zotero library. Now the easy way to do this is you can use the ISBN. So let's just get the ISBN. You can use a DOI. So I'm going to copy. And now let's go up to enter one of my ISBNs, DOIs, PubMed IDs, and I'm just going to paste. I need to do it manually. Get rid of the information at the start. Okay, and enter. And it's actually found it. Okay, it's gone and it's used a ISBN resolver and it's used it. Now what it's also done, which is kind of nifty, is it's added a note, and the note is actually all the chapters. So it's actually also got a note. So that's a way that you can play with your Zotero library and different ways that you can add a whole lot of items.